All right. Listen, I am so glad that you are on here with me. I just got to straighten my camera out just a bit. All right. So I am going to go all the way with you in reference to doing your finances with God. And I'm excited that you're on here. I want to I'm excited that not only are you on here, but you actually want to get your problems solved. You want to get your money problem solved. You know, one of the main issues that people deal with when it comes to finances is that they are so in a way they're always in a situation where they don't want to get their finances solved because they are either concerned about, hey, what if I try this and it doesn't work out, or what if I don't try this and it doesn't get to the place that I needed to go to, or sometimes something that I dealt with is like, I'm thinking I want to get my finances situated so quickly, and I'm going to try this kind of like quicker plan than the one that I was already on. Listen, that's the story of my life when it comes to that. But sometimes you just got to go to the complete basics and get right with it. So I'm excited. I'm going to get on here with you guys. I've got my computer. I've got my notes. I've also got my Bible. I cannot figure this out without my Bible being on here. What's happening, Freddie? How you doing? I've got Chad on here, A Better Life. Let's go. I'm so excited. Me and Chad were talking about some things a couple of hours ago about some things that we've got planned for this community, for his community, for the church as a whole. And when I say the church, I'm talking about the people of God. So I'm excited that you're on here because you are about to go on the journey. I always say this, and I get it from my Apostle Mike of V1 Church, and I'll talk a little bit about that in a second. But I get this thing that is basically, we are not building an audience, we're building an army. And so I don't want you to just be in the chat just watching. I want you to actually get in here and let's talk about your finances. Be honest, be real. Like, I got my chat up right now. Be real, like throw some things in the chat. Let me know what are some issues you're probably dealing with. I even got my phone open, so in case anybody wants to, I might even go on Instagram on here and actually cause people to, actually ask some questions, maybe even via Instagram. Because listen, sometimes some people want to be a little bit anonymous, so they might not want their name all out there because of some situations going on, because they just don't want people knowing what's going on with their finances. And that's okay, I get it. But I'm gonna tell you something, we've got to get real. In order for you to get your finances in order, you've got to put the shame away and you've got to reveal what's actually happening. You've got to. And so I'm going to be your financial coach. I want to let you know this, though. I am not an accountant. I am not a CPA. If I tell you to do something with your money right now, that you cannot get the assistance that you truly need with your finances through a YouTube live video. That's not going to happen, right? We've got to go a little deeper, and I'm not trying to sell anything or anything of that nature, but I'm just letting you know that there is more that needs to happen. I spend maybe about 6 sessions going through people's finances, coaching them through it, and getting through it in order for them to get to a place that they can even manage their finances on their own to an extent. And even then, they still need to contact me, still need to have conversations with me. And those sessions are sometimes 60 to 90 minutes. And if I'm really feeling it, I'll go an extra 30 minutes because I want to make sure that they get what's actually happening. And so I'm just letting you know, 1 hour live is not going to get you to where you want to go with your finances. And so I just want to put that disclaimer out there in reference to what God truly wants to do with what you're doing. So I just wanted to let you know that. But I want you to drop some questions in the chat. I've got a few people watching right now, so I want you to drop any questions. I want you to share this as well, okay? I've got like 2 questions already on deck that I can get answered, get to right this moment. And so if you have any questions, I want you to put it on there. You can even here's what you could do, okay? I've got a friend. This is how you can start your thing. I've got a friend that, and then just go right there. I know it's not about you, okay? Because you're right where you need to be, right? I know it's about your friend, okay? And so I'm cool with that. We could have that conversation. That's cool, okay? And I'm all right with that. So go ahead and put any questions that you have in the chat. I know I had a question earlier, all right, that basically someone was asking about how do I how do I make sure that I don't live paycheck to paycheck? And one of I gave a very general answer. It was, hey, minimize your debt, get your savings up, start investing, get on a budget, things of that nature. And many people know these things, but one of the questions that people have is like, how do I do that? How do I actually do that? And so I've got you watching on here, and so I really want to go through it to an extent, okay? I'm not gonna, I don't have another camera for you to see what I'll try to post, like kind of show what you're watching, what I'm writing, if anything. But I do want to put it in a sense that will put you into probably you might be able to do it right now. You might be able to get yourself in a mindset that understands, hey, paycheck to paycheck living is not the way. It's not the way, right? Many people are living paycheck to paycheck. And I wish I could even find the stats right now where we can kind of talk about what does it look like to live paycheck to paycheck. And because it's possible that you may be in that situation and it's not the best. It's not the best, and you wanna. I cannot multitask. I'll say that to you right now. So you might see places where I pause and stuff because I'm typing. All right. So I wanna make sure that I'm able to answer that because it's important to kind of see where we are. Okay. I just put this in, and this is very it's actually from Investopedia. Okay, stats from Investopedia. It says that actually right now, as of December 2024, approximately 78% of Americans are living paycheck to paycheck, according to a survey by payroll.org. Okay, payroll.org. So 78%. And this information, let's see, Forbes is saying that a majority of Americans is living paycheck to paycheck. As of April, I'm actually going to open up this article real quick because this is actually very important for us to understand this. And the reason why we need to know these things is because, hey, do we want to be a part of the majority or do we want to be a part of the minority? A lot of times people hate on the minority, but being a part of them, listen, only 1% of America is like super is there's a term for it. Like really rich. It's not really rich. There's a term for it, but like 1% of America has are more multimillionaires. And so if that's the case, I want to be a minority. All right, I want to be a minority, but 78% of Americans is living paycheck to paycheck. All right, it's actually a 6% increase from the previous year, which is scary. It's scary. And so we've got to step outside, even as Christians, we've got to step of being in that situation. We've got to step outside of being in a situation where we are a part of the majority. In that case, we've got to step outside of that, because I know the Bible talks about that. I know the plans that I have for you, plans for you to prosper you. Okay. And prospering is not in reference to only, and I have my Bible right here. You probably couldn't see that, but if it's not only about being prospered in the sense of finances, but it's being prospered in the sense of your health. All right. And I'm going to answer the question in a second. But what I want you to understand is that prosperity, your health, in fact, is directly connected to your stress levels. It's connected to certain situations where it comes to cancer, where it comes to your health in general. It is connected to how healthy you are, is connected to your mind and what's going on in your body. I remember when my wife was pregnant with, I think, our fourth child, and she was going through it. I mean, her body was, her hormone levels were all over the place. There was so much going on to the point where I was a little concerned. I was just like, man, I feel so bad. Why did I put my wife through this again? Why did we have to get to this point? And I remember one day, like, my wife is laying down, and we had so much going on in that time. But we had, my wife was laying down, and then she just got up and like projectile vomited on the ground, and it was every night there was something wrong, right? And so, but there was a lot of stress going on. She had just started a new job. That was stressful. We had just moved into a new house. Of course, that was stressful. And it wasn't just the house we just moved in to. We also had construction going on where we were pretty much the GC of the job. We were the ones managing the subcontractors to some extent, and she was an interior designer at the same time. So project manager, like we were handling everything, and she was honestly the one doing most of it because I was at work and I was taking care of things. And I'll be honest, I am not a multitasker, so I'm not the best there. I can, I have to decompartmentalize certain things in order to be able to be as life-giving as possible in whatever situation. And so when it comes to your health, you have to understand, if your finances are in a place where it is healthy, you also will feel the effects of that in your conversation. You'll feel the effects of that in your mindset. You'll feel the effects of that in your stress levels, in your body. And so I want you guys to be mindful of all of that, okay? And so when we're talking about paycheck to paycheck living, we do not want to live in that space. That's not a place where you want to live. That's not a place where you want to put yourself and position yourself. Okay. And so that's why I am saying to you, somebody said Pastor Mary's a superhero. She sure is. She sure is. Y'all won't believe today, just today, at the time of this live, she was playing the violin and she was playing Jingle Bells. She was reading notes and playing bells. I was just like, how do you, when, where, how, what? Like, and it was the viola, excuse me, it was the viola. I could hear my son, he's practically my brother because we look just alike. But I could hear my son just like saying, it's not the violin, Dad, it's the viola. And so, but she was doing that. And I was just like, man, this woman is amazing. All right. All right. But let's talk about this, okay? Paycheck to paycheck living. And I'm giving y'all time to come up with your questions in regards to your finances. Remember, for those of you that are just now coming on, I want you to know this, okay? You're saying your friend, okay? My friend, I have a friend that, and then boom, ask the question, okay? Ask the question. I'm going to try to answer every one of them. And if I can't, I will make a whole entire video to answer that question. Okay. So paycheck to paycheck. How do we get out of living paycheck to paycheck? We want to first start off with your income. How much money is coming in? You want to know how much money is coming in. Do not take your paycheck and just start spending. That is the worst thing you can do. That is the worst thing you can do. Take your paycheck and put it down. Like just today, my paycheck hit my account, and we sometimes put it all aside. Sometimes we already got our budget set. Sometimes we don't get to it right away, and we get it done maybe the day it comes in, or on Fridays or something of that nature, and or on Saturdays, sometimes on Sundays, and that's where it's like, okay, we've got to get this budget done. But we want to know what is coming in. Once you know what's coming in, you also want to know what is going out. What's going out? What's actually going out? And so when you know these things, you're able to you're able to put a plan together that will allow for you to get your finances in order. And here's the thing about this, right? When you are doing this, here's something I want you to be mindful of. When you're putting a budget together, do not get scared when you recognize that, man, I'm not getting it. If this is your first time doing a budget, that's okay. That is all right. You know why it's okay? Because it is okay because when you're doing anything for the first time, you're not going to get it right away. You are not going to get it right away. So cut yourself some slack. It's okay for you to not get your finances in order. I mean, to not get your budget just right away. That's all right. I want you to know that you can actually just start off with the income, start off with the expenses. And as you're doing that over and over and over again, when you're putting your budget in order, you will then get better at it and it will become like second nature to you. So get your income, get your expenses. Once you have those two things, what I want you to do is now I want you to begin to look at your not to look at your how much money is coming in, how much money is going out, and then see what you have left. What do you have left? If you have nothing left, then we've got to look at your expenses. We've got to kind of look and see, where am I spending too much money in? On where am I putting am I spending too much money on food? Am I spending too much money on videos, on video games, on sneakers, on clothes? Where am I putting my money? And so when you look at that, don't just kind of like tally up what your all the expenses and put it in a lump sum, but categorize it. Categorize it. And the categories need to start with tithes. Listen, we're Christians here, okay? The categories need to start with tithes. And then it needs to go into how much money is going into savings. Most of the time, if you're living paycheck to paycheck, I've found that people are mostly not putting money into savings. Why aren't you paying yourself? That's a question that I have for you. Why aren't you paying yourself? Why aren't you making sure that you have finances away for a rainy day? Because there will be a rainy day. It was pouring rain yesterday, right? It was pouring rain. And I'm not talking about a physical rainy day, but what I am talking about is like you getting yourself in a place where you, just in case something happens, you've got to put your savings in order, right? And so I'm going to talk about that in a second. So what you want to do is whatever's left, if there's nothing left over, look at your expenses, see where you're spending too much on, and put some funds aside. All right, put some funds aside. I'm gonna write down what I'm saying because I wrote it down earlier, but then I think I placed it somewhere where I don't have it currently. So income, okay, and expenses. That's number one. Number two, you wanna put whatever's left over. Whatever's left over. And if you have money left over, you want to use that to cut down your debt. Okay, cut down your debt. And I want to see you guys in the chat. I want to see that you guys are like, coming together. You guys are, and I know you're probably taking notes right now. And so if you're taking notes, then that is great. But I want you to be in the chat as well. As a matter of fact, listen, somebody in the chat, go ahead and let me know the first thing I said. Let me know the second thing I said. Let me know the third thing I said, because there's going to be somebody else that's going to come in later, and they are going to want to know what has been said so far. So help me out, okay? Help me out. I can't type in the chat right now because I told you I am multitask deficient. I'm multitask challenged, and so I can't do it, okay? Multitask challenge. I'm about to create a t-shirt like that. If my wife is listening, baby, let's do that. Multitask challenge, and that could be me. All right, I'll have a shirt that says that. And for my other fellas out there, go ahead. It's actually like literally in your brain, you actually can't do multitasking, but I mean, my wife does it all the time. She's just as Janine said in the chat, she is a hero. A superhero, not just a hero. She's a superhero. But income and expenses, okay? Whatever you have left, then if you have anything left, You want to put that towards your your savings, okay? Because more than likely you do not have a savings, and you want your savings to at least hit 1 to 2 thousand, okay? $1 to 2 thousand. Oh my God, are you crazy, Pastor Randall? Are you crazy? By the way, I'm a pastor. Are you crazy, Randall? Like, how can I get my savings up to $1 to 2 thousand? That is wild. Yes, you could do it. You can do it. I'm letting you know that right now. You can do it. I know it sounds crazy, but I remember working with a young woman that was not even seeing, like, she kept going into her savings, like, and her savings was up to 300 or so, or 500, and she kept having to dip into her savings in order to be able to make ends meet. And that might be you right now. Or maybe you're not dipping into your savings, but you're dipping into something far worse, your credit cards. Don't do it. Don't do it. Matter of fact, that should have been the first thing I said. Take your credit cards and put it, like, cut it up. Cut it up right now. Do not touch the credit cards, because you are in a dire situation. It is either you are going to do this or you are going to die. Just understand that. Because your vision, the vision that God has for your life, will not be able to be able to succeed, will not be able to make, will not be able to come to pass if you do not have the finances to make it happen. Yes, God can provide, but God will not give you something God will not give you that which costs you nothing. Okay, that's number one. But then again, it says in Matthew chapter, I believe it's chapter I want to say 25 or so, when it talks about the parable of the talents. It says that for you, basically it's talking about, because of the fact that you were faithful with little, I will entrust you with much. I'll entrust you with much. How do you expect to be entrusted with much, with this big vision that God gave you, if you are not handling what He's already given you well? Okay? This is why it's so important for us to steward our finances well. This is why it's so important for us to get our finances in line. Okay? Y'all thought y'all was just coming for a quick answer? No. This is not a quick answer. This is not, oh, okay, do this, do that, do this. No. This is not what you're gonna get on my channel. You're not just getting, hey, step 1, step 2, step 3. No, I want you to do step 1 knowing exactly why you're doing step 1. I want you to do step 2 knowing that, man, if I don't do this, I may just as well forfeit the vision that God has given me. I may as well just forfeit everything that God has given me. And the vision, the dreams, the aspirations, the everything. It's gotta go. It's gotta go. All right? Like, it's gotta go. And the Bible says that we were not called to be lenders, but borrowers. Okay, Deuteronomy chapter 28. It talks about that you were called to be a lender, not and to be a lender, not a borrower. You were called to be a lender, not a borrower. Okay. And so we've got to, and I'm not saying you cannot use credit cards, but what I am saying is right now, you do not know how to use them. So don't use them. Okay. And I've been there. Matter of fact, I'm still trying to get out of that right now. I'm not all the way there, y'all. Let me let you know that. Can I be transparent for a second? Like, I'm not all the way there. I'm still working on getting my finances in order, in a place where I can truly live the life that God has called me to live. So if that's the case, if I'm doing it, you can do it too. I'm only about 2 or 3 steps ahead of you. I am not 20 steps ahead of you. I'm just about 2 or 3 steps, and I'm gonna keep walking. Every time I fall, I'm gonna get back up and I'm gonna keep walking. The difference between you and me right now is possible that you haven't started walking, or you probably just have not. You fall and then you stay down. But I'm telling you, get up, get back up, get back up. And if you already are walking, let's go. Hey, I'm calling from afar. Hey, let's go. Come on, keep coming. Let's keep going. Like, do not stop. Okay. And so I want you to get $1,000 to $2,000 worth of savings in place. Okay, like let's get our finances where we can begin to do that. Okay, $1,000 to $2,000, and it may take some time. For you, it might not take any time because you probably were spending 1 to 2 thousand already per month extra. You might have been just, you got your bare minimum expenses, and your bare minimum expenses are your housing, okay? It is your what are the four pillars? It's your housing, your food, okay? Your transportation, and it is your housing, food, transportation, and utilities. Okay, so those are the four basic things usually that you really need to survive. And then your tithes is like a cap on the house, right? It's a cap on like if you're thinking of four pillars, right? You're thinking of four pillars. It's the cap on the house, okay? The tithes. It covers. It makes sure that your house is set and taken care of. And then your savings is the firm foundation, okay? Your savings is the firm foundation. Now, I'm not telling you the cap on the house is much more important than your savings. I'll tell you that right now. Because in order for you to, you know what, we should turn that around. It sounds better the other way. Your tithes is the firm foundation, and in order for a rainy day, you got me now. All right, you see, there goes the Holy Spirit. That's the Holy Spirit right there. Go ahead, wisdom. All right, your savings is the cap on the house. All right, so you have, and I'm gonna draw this out for you. Okay, you got your four pillars. I'm not a great drawer, so don't come for me. All right, you got your four pillars. All right, put it in the chat. What are the four pillars? Okay, you've got your roof, and then you've got your firm foundation that your four pillars are standing on. All right, so you wanna put your tithe on the firm foundation. You wanna put housing, right? That's mortgage, rent. You want to put utilities. That's your light, your gas, your water, utilities. You want to put your food, all right? If you can't get to work, you can't do any of those other things. All right? And then you want to have your savings in order to cover for a rainy day. All right? You want to put your savings in order to cover for a rainy day. And make sure you can see this. That looks pretty good. All right, you can see that. There you go. That looks good. All right, that's it. You got your savings at the top, your tithe at the bottom, and the bottom is the foundation. You can't build no pillars if you don't have a foundation, okay? And then you put your housing, your utilities, your food, your transportation, and then in order for a rating day, you put the savings. You will never forget that. You're never gonna forget that. There you go. You will never forget that. And that's what you need to make sure that your expenses look like. Everything else is fun and games. And listen, I'm gonna tell you how crazy I am. Let me tell you how crazy I am. I remember when we first, Mary and I first got married. We when we first got married, I remember we looked at our finances, and I was just like, babe, we got to get it together. We just got married. We just spent a whole lot of money for this wedding. But God is calling us to more, and we cannot continue to live like this. And I was like, we're just gonna cut cable. Cable's way too expensive. Why are we using cable? We don't need cable. Let's just get a stream app. And I had a good friend of mine, actually. I was just texting him, who I went to his house, and he had a streaming app, and he was paying like dirt cheap, like pretty much I think $20 or something like that, or 40. And I was like, what? And he got all the channels and everything. I was like, I think Sling had just came out. I think it was Sling, and it had just came out. And I was like, what? Like, that's amazing. And so I was like, babe, we got to do it too. We've got to do it. Like, why are we spending so much? And she was like, I can't do that. Like, that's not going to happen. I can't. It's okay. The TV cannot give you anything. You know what the poor do a lot? They entertain themselves. They'll go to parties. They'll go to events and buy gifts. They'll bring a bottle of wine. I'm gonna tell you all the things I used to do. They'll go to gaming events. They will buy clothes. They'll do all these things. They'll entertain themselves. They'll go to the movies. They'll do all those things. Am I saying that's wrong? No, I'm not. But when you don't have a roof on your head, okay, when you don't have your savings in place, when one of your pillars, such as transportation, is leaning to the left or to the right, listen, let's get it together, okay? Let's get your expenses. Let's get your let's get your let's get your life in order. All right? Let's get it together to cut out the entertainment. And so that's exactly what we did, right? So you can have entertainment if you want, but if it's costing you an arm and a leg in order for you to do what you got to do in order to get out of the paycheck to paycheck lifestyle, then let's get it. Let's get it. Let's make that happen. Okay? Let's make that happen. Ooh, my man Chris is on here, and listen, he's ruthless. Chris is ruthless. He said the bigger the TV, the smaller the bank account. The bigger the TV, the smaller the bank account. So cut out the entertainment. Your family might not like you for a little while, but it's okay. When they're going to Disney anytime they want, when they're actually living out the entertainment as opposed to watching the entertainment, they'll be okay. They'll be okay. All right. So tithe, housing, food, transportation, utilities. Okay. Get those things in order. Right. Put away whatever's left over. Put it away so that you can at least have $1,000 to $2,000 in your savings. That is not where you're gonna stop. That is not where you're gonna stop. You are going to actually get your savings way higher than this. But the reason why we're getting here is because we want to make sure that we have the Army reserves in the fortress just holding out. We want to make sure that we've got you've got some reserves in place just in case for a rainy day. Okay, just in case for a rainy day, just in case something happens. Just the other day, one of my refrigerators in the house went out, and we actually really use it a lot because one of the fridge we have currently in the main part of the house is it's a little bit it's not big enough. And so I've got a family of like six. I've got a dog now and everything, so it's not big enough. So so our fridge went out. So what we did was we made sure we got a new fridge. In a couple of days we got a new fridge. Oh, the thing that took us the longest was making sure we got the right fridge. That's really what kind of held us back. And so we got a new fridge and we made it happen. And so that's because we had our savings in place in order for a rainy day, in order for something to happen, in case something happened. So 1 to 2K, you put away your savings, whatever's left over. All right. That's the first thing you want to do. I know I didn't talk about cutting out the debt yet. That's what we're going to do next. Okay. We're going to continue budgeting. And then next we are going to start crushing the debt. Get rid of the debt because the debt is holding you back. Think of the debt. Excuse me. Yeah. Think of the debt like debt. Okay. Right. Think of DEBT like DEATH. Okay. Debt is death. Okay. And not all debt. And I'm going to be real and I'm going to say it. Not all debt. But when the debt is like a chain and chain and ball holding you back from where God is truly calling you to, it's not good. It's not good. All right. When you're dragging it along with you, then there's an issue. Okay. But if you are basically, if it is, I don't even want to say it's leading you. We'll talk about that at a later time. But you want to cut the debt, and you're not just gonna like pay your debt off all willy nilly. Do not do that. Do not just be like, oh, this person's calling me and asking me for money. Let me pay this. This person, no, get a plan for paying off your debt. Just like you have a plan, okay? Just like you have a plan for your money, you want a plan for paying off your debt. And so when you get a plan for paying off your debt, what you are going to do is you are going to look at your debt and you're going to list it. Okay, listed from lowest debt to highest debt. Listed from lowest debt to highest debt. Okay, listed from lowest debt to highest debt. All right, easy. All right, if you do it in a spreadsheet and you put all your debt based off of what you have in front of you, then go ahead and filter it, do A to Z and all that sort and filter, and go ahead and put in, let it do what it let the Excel or let the spreadsheet do what it's going to do, and then you will then see your what is lowest, and you'll see what is highest, and you're going to tackle the lowest debt first. And the reason why you're going to do that is because what happens is that momentum of you paying off that debt, man, it is a beautiful feeling. It's a beautiful feeling. I'm telling you. You want excitement in your life? You want entertainment in your life? Turn on the debt. Turn on the spreadsheet channel. Turn on the spreadsheet channel, and let me all right, there we go. Turn on the spreadsheet channel, okay? Sit back and relax and watch your debt go down, okay? Because you've cut out entertainment, you've cut out eating out all the time, you've cut out whatever else, right? And now you got the spreadsheet channel and you're watching it. You're like, all right, if I do this and I do that, and I'm able to maybe I'll go get another little job over there, work maybe 2 or 3 hours a day extra, make an extra $500 a week or $250 a week, which adds up to about $1,000 extra a month. All right. And I'm gonna be able to pay off this debt. Boom. All right, knocked out in such and such month. Boom, knocked out in a couple of other months. Ooh, there goes that one. Oh, there goes that. Oh. Boom. KO. There you go. Watch that entertainment. Forget about the McGregor and Mike Tyson fight. Like, watch that. That's real. That's real. Okay? And so when you cut that debt out, then you'll know, you'll feel like, man, okay, I feel like I could breathe. You know, a lot of you are not dreaming the dreams that God has called you to dream. And the reason being is because you have so much garbage in front of you. You've got so much, and the garbage is the bills. It's all of these things, and they're in front of you. They're bothering you. They're causing your eyes to kind of see mucky, and you put on the glasses, you clean it, and you still can't see right. Get rid of the debt. Don't And it's not even about getting rid of the debt. Get a plan for getting rid of the debt. And when you see it beginning to decrease, you will begin to see your vision increase. You could put that in the chat. That one was good. I'm gonna write that one down. When you see, okay, I'm gonna say it again. And when you see the debt decrease, you will begin to see the vision increase. And that is what God wants for you. That's what he wants for you. When you see the debt increase, and I'm just repeating it because at this point I just need to write it down, you will begin to see the debt decrease. Okay? I mean, the vision increase. You will begin to see the vision increase. Thank you, Holy Spirit. That was good. That was good. That was good. All right. And so when you are in that place, I'm telling you, the sky is not even the limit. Heaven is not even the limit, but it is expanse. It is expansive. It is beyond what you can imagine. I wrote in my thing, like in my stories today, like you want to make a big boy move, make a God move. And a God move is defined as something that you couldn't even see for yourself. And so if you want to make a big girl move, a big boy move, if you want to make a move that is beyond what you could ever imagine, make a God move. Those are the moves that you will make and that will have you talking about it from years from now, decades from now. Your children's children will talk about, man, thank God for Freddie. Thank God for Uncle Freddie. Thank God for Grandpa Freddie. Thank God for Great Grandpa Freddie. Thank God for Great Grandma Sylvie. Thank God for the matriarch of our family, Sylvie. Thank God for Janine. Like that is what your family will say because of the God move that you decided to make in your life. All right. And when you see the debt decrease, you will begin to see the vision increase. And so when you now cut the debt, you're able to, get at it little by little, step by step, right? You begin to cut at it, and then you throw it away. It's all gone. Now you have all of this extra income that you were giving. It's not even extra income, it's money you were already making. You have all of this extra income that you were making already, that was yours, that you were giving to Wells Fargo, that you were given to Citibank, that you were given to Discover, that you were given to Capital One, that you were given to Credit One, that you were given to USAA, that you were given to Sleepy's, all of these different places, Macy's, right? All of these different places. I don't know why Nine West. I don't know why that's in my mind, right? You are giving it to them, and now you can actually give it to your last name. And once you've cut that debt out, now what I want you to do is go back to that savings. Go back to that savings and throw more money into that savings. Just about 3 to 6 months. Okay? 3 to 6 months. Throw more money into that savings. 3 to 6 months. Okay? 3 to 6 months of expenses. All right, whatever those expenses are, those bare minimum expenses, because God forbid you lose your job. God forbid you get into a situation where you need to, just be able to live off of your savings alone. You want to have at least 3 to 6 months of savings, and then in terms of your expenses, and then so for example, if your expenses are, let's say, 10,000, I'm just going to do easy numbers. Okay, 10,000 a month. If your expenses are 10,000 a month, you want to, let's just do 5,000, because I feel like somebody's like, dang, that's a lot. All right, 5,000. Let's say your expenses are 5,000 a month. What you'll do is times that by 3, okay, or 6. Why do I say 3 to 6 months? If you got a large family, make it 6. If you got a small family and or maybe it's just you and your significant other, or maybe it's you and by yourself, you want to just do 3 months, okay? And so you'll do 3 months, and then once you have 3 months, or 6 months, you're set. And so you will do 5,000 times 3, which is 15, or 5,000 times 6, which is 30,000, right? You will save up to that, and you will put that away in a high yield savings account. Okay? Do not leave that thing in Capital One. Don't leave that thing in Citibank. Don't leave it in Bank of America. Put it in a high yield savings account, okay? And the reason being is because you're able to yield a lot more interest. Okay, you're able to yield a lot more interest when when your savings is in a high yield savings account. Okay, and once it's there, you leave it there. Don't touch it. Don't touch it. Okay, do not touch it. Don't say, oh, I want to use this for that. No, this is in case of an emergency. In case of an emergency. All right, emergencies is your fridge going out. Okay, you didn't know it was going to happen. And emergencies is not, oh man, I've got to get an oil change. I'm going to no, you knew you needed an oil change. Every time, every 3,000 miles, every 3 months, something along those lines, whichever one comes first, you've got to get an oil change. So you prepare for that. That's what a budget is for. You prepare for that. But something where, you're driving and then, oh no, all 4 tires just went out. All right, that's an emergency, right? You go ahead, you knock on the door of your account, you send it to your main checking account, and then you do what you got to do. Simple, okay? But then once you have that 3 to 6 months of payment, you want to go and you want to start investing. All right, You've got to have your soldiers go out and work for you. Look at your dollars as soldiers. Take them and have them to start going to work for you. Janine said, your $9,000 boiler dying. Yeah, that's definitely something you hopefully didn't see coming, and so you want to get yourself taken care of. Okay, all right. Okay, and so you want to get them you want to get that taken care of. I'm sorry, Janine. I am so sorry that if that happened to you. Oh, that's not you. That's your friend. I forgot. That's your friend. All right. So go ahead and invest. Take the rest of your money and start investing in something that you believe in, something that you understand. Don't just go follow what everybody else is doing. Don't follow that person that knocked on your door and said, "Hey, can you invest in this?" Don't go start investing in your brother's new business idea. Don't go and do that. Please. Matter of fact, I would even listen. I'm a huge proponent for people building their own side business. I'm a huge proponent for people investing in themselves, investing in yourselves so you can get a little bit more income, so you can do the thing that maybe is a passion in your life or whatever. Like invest in yourself, perhaps. That's a plan, right? Or you can, there's so many things out there. I'm not gonna put anything, I'm not gonna say anything specifically, but I'll tell you that I am a huge proponent for you going out and building your own business. I will listen, if you want to talk business, like, and you want to talk about like your dreams and aspirations and things of that nature, here's what I want you to do real quick so we can actually have a conversation. Go ahead and sign up for the Kingdom Wealth Builders Hub. Okay, I'll put it's actually in my link I can't put it right now. Maybe I can. But go ahead and sign up for the Kingdom Wealth Builders Hub, and we could talk about that stuff. We can talk about maybe your dreams, maybe something you have an idea of. I was talking to a good friend of mine earlier, and he was like, "Man, I want to be able to get this course, kind of like." Funneling through where I'm not really, because I'm taking care of other things here. He has a whole bunch of other businesses that he's managing and taking care of, and all these things, ministry, all these things that he's doing. And so he's like, I can't really give a lot of time, as much time as I would want to this, but I do want to get this out there. And I basically laid down like, hey, this is what you could do. Blah, 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 blah. And he was like, all right, like we'll talk. And I can't wait to have that conversation with him so we can get that going, right? Because because that's the plan. I have a friend. Okay, somebody said they're asking for a friend. What's the link? They're asking for a friend. I'm gonna put it for you. I got you. I got you, friend. Whoever that is. All right, give me a second. Let me open up this new window, and once I have this new window opened up, I'll be able to get to this. I gotta actually say what I'm doing, y'all. I apologize. I'm a mess. I'm a hot mess. Okay, but as that's coming up, so yeah, you want to make sure that you are investing. Okay, make sure you're investing. And so once you start investing, whether that's a friend, whether that's whatever it may be, once you do that, you put yourself in a greater position to be able to make more money, because your soldiers that you work for, meaning that you've gone out to work a job for someone else, is now you're taking that money and you're allowing those soldiers to go and work for you. And when those soldiers are working for you, they come back with more income. And now this is where you're not living paycheck. You've stopped living paycheck to paycheck a long time ago. You've stopped living paycheck to paycheck a long time ago. But what happens now is the money that you've invested, right, that went to go and work for you, you can now take that money. You can say, you know what, I'm going to reinvest it. Or you can say, you know what, I'm going to just keep reinvesting this money, and I'll take a little portion from that, so that's like my income, for me to not feel like I have to touch my income that I am working for when I go out and work for time, right? And then when I'm working for time, I'm about to have a beautiful segue. When I go out and work for time, I am no longer going to allow that time, the money I worked for time, I'm gonna actually end up taking my whole paycheck that I work for time, and I'm gonna invest that, and I'm gonna live off of my dividends. I'm gonna live off of my dividends. The money that went out and worked for me, that went to do some work, the soldiers that went to go do work for me, which are the dollars, which are the, those notes, that money, I'm going to allow that money to be able to take care of my lifestyle. Now, you don't have a spreadsheet anymore. Now you could watch the McGregor Tyson fight. Now you can watch the shows on TV. Now you could do all that good stuff. Don't do it too much now, because there's still work for you to do. Remember the vision that God gave you. Now you could do those things, and it won't feel bad. It won't feel like, man, I could be doing more. Now you could put your feet up. Now you can go. Matter of fact, you don't even need to watch anything. Take a cruise with your family. Forget about Disney World. Take a Disney cruise. How about that? Forget about Disneyland. Take a Disney cruise. Go to the, I forgot where it is, but there's a whole island of Disney. Go there. How about that? Okay? So this is this is what I'm believing for you. And this is what I know that you can end up doing. All right. I think I got this now. I think I could share this now. Okay? For a friend. All right, there we go. Boom. All right. Now you could enjoy that. Now you could have a good time. Okay. Chris said invest in skills. That is a great idea. There are skills that are transferable in many different aspects and many different industries and many different ways. Sales, communication, a trade of some sort. Like all of those things, those are things that you can invest into. Learning how to do photography better, all of those things. And when you do these things, you are in a much better place for you. You're in a much better place for your family. You're in a much better place in so many different for so many different things. Chris said, "Sales is my love language." It sure is. Listen, find my man Chris, man. Let him know where they could find you, Chris. So that way, if you want to learn sales, if you want to get sales, maybe you might want to do a sales program, sir. Like that might be helpful for some people. I'll take it. I'll take a sales course from you. But yeah, so that is what you want to do. If you want to get out of living paycheck to paycheck, then this is where you do it. Okay, this is how you do it. First you want to take your income and take your expenses. Subtract your expenses from your income. Okay, I'm reviewing. Take your expenses. Take your expenses and then minus it from your income. And whatever is left over, you want to then take what's left over and you want to put that towards $1,000 to $2,000 of savings just to get you started. That's just your savings to get you started. Put it in a high yield savings account. There are so many. Look them up. I don't have any affiliate commissions coming from any of them, so I'm not gonna say anything about anything. I probably should work on that. I'm gonna put that down. I'm probably gonna work on that. Okay, and then once you do that, then you can then put yourself in a position where you can begin to cut the debt. Okay, and if you have no money left over after you subtract your expenses from your income, you then want to cut some things off. Okay, remember the house we talked about. These are the main things that you want to look at. Remember the house we talked about. Okay, it's the four pillars. It's the foundation where you are paying your tithes, which is 10% of your income, and then it's your savings. Okay, it's your savings. And once you have that, you then put yourself in a position where you are able to now, once your debt is cut, then you are in a position where and it might take some time. For some people, it might take 6 months. For some people, it might take 2 months. For some people, it might take a year or two. It's okay. Trust me, you are far better off where you started. And there's a bonus that happens with this, and I'm gonna tell you in a second. But with 3 to 6 months, then once you cut that debt, then you put away at least, you go back to the savings, okay, and you put away at least 3 to 6 months of savings away. And once you put that 3 to 6 months of savings away, you are able 3 to 6 months of expenses, 3 to 6 months of expenses away in your savings. And once you do that, you're in a better place. And then you take the whatever leftover money. If you had $50 in the beginning that you were using to cut your debt, right? You don't have that anymore. What you have is actually maybe 200, maybe 2,000, right? And now you can use that money to invest into something, to invest into some skills, to invest into a business, to invest into into maybe some some type of other investments, types of things, okay? And but here's the bonus of when you do this, when you put this plan together, what happens is you begin to steward your finances in a better place, in a better way. And when you begin to steward your finances in a better way, you ready for the bonus? God starts blessing you with more. It's a principle. God starts blessing you with more. The promotion comes, the opportunity for a better job comes, the opportunity to possibly get another job. I think it's good to get another job, but depending on your situation, like, do what you got to do. Maybe you get another job, you have more time, you have more stamina to be able to withstand that. And it's not a long time. You're doing this just for just a moment. Don't get used to this lifestyle. This is not the lifestyle you're trying to live. This is the lifestyle you are just, this is not even a lifestyle. This is just a conduit to the lifestyle you are going to live. Like, think about it. This is where you are now. This is where you're going, but there's a tunnel, right? Okay. Let me see. So this is where you are, right, currently, and this is where you're going. And then you have this is the conduit right here. This right here is a conduit. Okay, this is where you work the other job. This is where you begin to be a miser with every single dollar, with every single penny. You begin to be a miser so that you can get to the lifestyle that God is calling you to. But there is more. What's going to happen is that lifestyle now is going to begin to expand even more and more and more. It's going to begin to expand greater. It's going to begin to expand beyond than what you've ever imagined. For I know the plans that I have for you, plans for you to plans for me to prosper you, plans for you to have a future, a hope, and a future. That's scripture. It's not some nice poem I put together. No, that is scripture. And when you do this, you begin to see your life get into a place where you start to dream more. Okay. And listen, here's the thing. The reason why I said that, you don't want to, this is a conduit, is because you don't want to stay in a space where it was only a conduit for what was greater, where you are giving up your time for money. This is why you're putting your dollars to work for you. Because when you put your dollars to work for you, you want a greater investment. You want a greater investment into the time that God has given you. Because that's one thing you will never get back. You'll never get the time with your family back. You'll never get the time that you lost. You'll never get the time with your children back. You'll never get the time with your mother or your father that's sick, that's in the hospital, or that maybe needs your assistance on something. You'll never get those things. The time that you can put towards ministry, you'll never get those things back. So you need to work towards getting your life in such a place where you can dictate the time that you are putting towards the things that God has called you to do. Okay? All right? Yeah. I love what Chris said. He said 9 to 5 is how you survive. 5 to whenever you pass out is where you thrive. And listen, that is something that I've started to really just put into my mind. Like I spend a little extra hour or so after I put my kids to sleep, after my wife is asleep. Sometimes she's asleep, or sometimes she's right there next to me, and we're reading. We are investing time into the thing that God has called us to invest into. I'm studying the Word so I can find information to share with you. I'm studying the Word so I can find ways to just begin to expand my knowledge, so that I can bring the wisdom that perhaps you're not seeing when you're reading your Word, so you can know who God has called you to be. Okay. And so I want you guys to put this in place. Don't waste time on this. Put this in place. And if you want to, continue to ask me questions, or you want to, you really want to take this on a journey, I've got a free challenge that's available in my school community. It's called the Kingdom Wealth Builders Hub. Okay. And I want you to go ahead and sign up for that. It's a free challenge. You'll go through that, and then I meet with the people that are in the Kingdom Wealth Builders Hub at least once a week, and we on Zoom. We meet on Zoom, and we have a conversation. I share, I listen to questions, and then I take those questions and I make them into bite-sized courses that you can go deeper and begin to put into practice what we've talked about. All right. And I want you to be a part of that, because I want to see you become the kingdom wealth builder that God has called you to be an impact maker in the house of God, and for you to begin to make the impact, the imprint on this world, on this earth, that God has called you to make an imprint, what God has called you to do. And so I can't wait for you to be on that side with me. But listen, I want you to do me a favor, okay? If you haven't already subscribed to this channel, like, I don't know what you're waiting for. Maybe you were waiting for me to ask. Okay, all right, I'll be a gentleman. I'll ask. All right, please. May you please subscribe to my channel. All right, please subscribe to this channel. I've got 100 subscribers. Matter of fact, it's 101 subscribers. I just got started, and I'm excited. My wife is the marketing director. She is my coach. She is the person that yells at me when I do something wrong. and she's the one that is growing me. So I want you guys to share this with somebody, share this video with somebody, go back and look at maybe the other videos that I've done and share it with someone. And I'm building an army, y'all. I'm building an army of financial revivalists for your family, for the world. We are making an impact. All right, for the kingdom. We're making an impact for the kingdom. We are going to help grow the kingdom here on earth, and we are going to do what God has called us to do based off of what the part of the wall that He's called us to build, and we are going to make God's name great. And so I want you guys to go ahead, subscribe to this channel, and let's make it happen. All right. I love you guys. I thank you so much for hanging with me. And let me know. Let me know how you like this. Go ahead. I see you guys in the chat. It's so amazing. But go ahead and, like I said, all right, I said a couple of things here. All right. If you want to go deeper with me, first of all, make sure you subscribe to this channel. That's an easy thing that I ask you to do. Okay. But if you want to spend time with me on Zoom weekly, I want you to sign up for the Kingdom Wealth Builders Hub. Okay, Kingdom Wealth Builders Hub, and I'm gonna drop the link again for you. Go ahead and sign up for that, and take the free challenge. Go ahead and speak in the chats and everything like that. Let me know you're there, and then let's go deeper. Let's go deeper, and make sure you share this with someone. All right, I love you guys. Thank you so much for hanging with me. Take care.